Okay, so I've prepared the signatures, and I've basically used pages from this book that I had purchased specifically to use for Guylaine, for my stepmom. So I've got basically one that is showing the original book, so one signature of that. Then I have another signature where I'm showing some of the other images, as well as music paper, and again some more scrapbooking paper. And then I've got the book pages again, and then I've got that other book again. So I've got 4 signatures of 5 pages each. I think it's going to be big enough because there's going to be other embellishments in it. The only thing I did was to cut down my pages, and in some cases make pockets. So I sewn those previously so that I would have I could do it, because obviously you can't sew once the signatures have been put in. So I made myself a template using one of the file folders that I had cut. I make bookmarks out of them, but they're also great to make some template for the holes. I've already made lines of where I'm going to be putting the holes, because I'm just awful at doing this and I don't want to mess up. And so I need to line up basically this together, and I will probably shut the camera just because it's going to be a lot harder for me to do this if the camera is on, just because of the angle and stuff. But basically I'm going to open this up and put some pins like this so that it doesn't move. I've written at one part that it's the top, so it must be on the other one, just so that I make sure I do not mess up because the holes I never really totally measure, like I'm never really good at it. So I want to make sure that I use the same top all the time for all the signatures. This way it's going to line up. And so I'll make the holes here, and then I will be back. Okay, so I've made the holes in the spine, and thank God I didn't take you guys along, because it was really hard. So now I'm gonna do the same thing with my signature. So I'm gonna put this at the top, and this, where's my other clip? At the bottom. And I'm gonna press it firmly in the center. Now I'm gonna make sure that it's written top, and there it is, the top. So I'm gonna line this so that it's pretty much even, because of course and it's a lot easier for the signatures, and obviously because there's not a lot of pages, it's even easier. So there we go, and that's what I'm going to do for all of them. Now before I remove the clips, I'm going to put it in the book. So I chose my thread. I'm going to be using this, and I chose 3 times the length of the book, because that's how I measure to make sure that I'm not missing any. And I've pulled out some buttons because I want to do what Gail Agostinelli does, which is put some button on the spine. And I made sure that my needle was going to go through the holes, because I didn't want to have to take it off. So start with this in the middle hole for the first signature, and of course with the thread it's a lot harder to go through the cardboard. And sometimes I actually have to pull with my pair of pliers. Okay, so I want to make sure that I don't bring too much of the tail, because I don't want it to come out. Now I want to put some buttons. Like I said, this is my first time doing this, so please be patient guys with me, because I'm not too sure of what the hell I'm doing. So I think that's the way I should put it, so that I can thread in the next hole. So here we go. I'm gonna pull that out. And then put this in. Until I start tightening it, it's not so bad, but once I start to tighten it, it's going to be a lot harder to go through my spine. Okay, so got that done. Because now I don't have a lot. It's not like I'm gonna be adjusting that. Okay, and then I put it through the top. I'm hoping I'm in camera. I'm in shot. Okay, and then put it through the hole. Like I said, it's not the easiest to do while on camera. Okay, so not so bad this time around. Okay. My twine has gotten twisted. Okay, so we've got this. I just want to make sure that I tighten it up a bit. I can always pull on the tail here as well. So now I have to decide what type of button do I want. I like the idea of these buttons because they were exactly the same color as this. So I'm gonna put that. And basically I should have chosen which buttons I'm gonna put on which. That would have been the easiest thing to do, wouldn't it? So maybe something like this, and then something like that for the last one, and then I can I won't be able to put buttons on all of them, they're going to be too big. So maybe it's going to be every second one that's going to have buttons. So are those the ones I really want to see? Okay, I think I'm going to put these two. Or do I want to put two here? Try to do two here, just for added interest. And then I go back into my hole, and it goes a lot easier when you've already been through it. And now that I said that, I can't pull it through. Okay, so that's there. Go back through the middle. I want to make sure that I don't come through my thread, so I don't split my thread. Okay, and then that said this one. And through here. And through my signature. Go through the pocket. proper hole. It's quite an exercise in itself doing this, especially, like I said, on camera. It's even harder. Had to stand up. Okay, so this, and then do the last one. Go through the hole. Find the hole in the spine. There's my hole. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna just remove these because they're in the way and they're cut in the paper and it's not a good thing. Okay, so we've got that. And my last button, and I think we're pretty tight, so we're good. Just put the last button in. And put that through my hole. And we're good. Make sure everything is tight. Where I want it. And I cross under. And I double knot it. And I will leave the tails. I'm going to try to put some charms on them. So my first signature is in the book. You can see it's a bit tall, but I don't mind. I mean, it's an handmade book. It's the first time I do this, and obviously I'm going to learn from doing this book, but I think my stepmom is going to be quite happy with it. So I will do the other signatures because, as you could see, it's really difficult to do so on camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I finally finished putting all the signatures together, and I've done my exercise for the day, I have to admit, because it was hard work to pull the needle through. I'm learning at the same time as I'm doing this. So obviously if my buttons had been smaller I could have put more, but I really kind of like how it turned out. So I'm happy with it, and I wanted the 4 buttons that match the cover to be there, so I'm quite happy. And this is what it looks like. So I think it came out pretty good. The pages are, the signatures are pretty much centered. They're not necessarily exactly the same height all the time, but you know, that's me. But like I said, the space between each of the signatures is pretty much the same for all of them, which is pretty good considering that I don't do a lot of measuring usually in my stuff. So now the next steps will be to make some tags and to make paper clips and to just embellish this book. So I hope that you're liking this. I'm bringing you along. I know that, like I said, this is not a tutorial, it's more of craft with me, because of the fact that there's so many people that have done wonderful tutorials on making little golden books. In my case, it's really because you've seen me haul these books so many times, so I wanted to share with you my first experiment with them. and I hope that you've enjoyed this. So keep posted for part number 3 of this making of this book.